right, Jason, fall is here. I know you're real good about putting up these fall displays, so can you show us how to get started?
Absolutely. You know, fall is one of my favorite times of year. I love pumpkins, gourds, and squash. So first we're going to talk a little bit just about how to pick them out. So when you go to the farmer's market or box store or the farm stand or nursery, you want to look for pumpkins that are not blemished. Now a little bit of things on here is okay, but bring that home. And I like to wash it in like a 5% bleach solution. So just a little bit of bleach and some water gets rid of any bacteria or spores that are on it that may cause it to rot. Now, if you end up with some maybe that look like this, this is actually a sweet potato pumpkin, they call it. It goes by a lot of different names, cushaw. But actually, this is healed over pretty well, and you can use this in the display anyway. You just turn it around back. Now, you may want to look at it every week or so and be sure it's not rotting and take it out. But you can make use of these, and we're going to use this in the display today. So just a little bit of prep ahead of time with cleaning. Also, some people like to spray like a clear shellac on there, and sometimes you'll purchase them already that way. I don't like it because it looks fake. It gives it a shiny look, but if you like that, there's nothing wrong with that, and that helps protect them as well.
Now, do you like the long stems?
I love the long stems on them. And you know, really, you know, kids love those stems, but you really shouldn't pick it up by the stem, because if the stem falls off, it's more likely to rot. But you know, you can't resist a little child picking up the stem, and even myself. So you'll probably see me do that today, but I prefer not. I try not to.
Prefer not to.
Okay. So we're going to get started. First, you want to start with straw bales. And you know, depending on your budget, how many, but we're using 3 today. And you know, just stack them where they're secure in the landscape. And you know, I like a lot of times start with 2 on the bottom and then capping it with the top.
Okay, pretty secure.
And then, yeah, get it pretty secure on there. And then we're also going to add some corn stalks. Today we have the convenience of a lamp post here we're going to use, but if you don't, you can always use a wooden tomato stake to tie them on to. Of course, drive it in the ground with the hammer. But again, we're very convenient today with the lamp post. We've got a big bundle of corn stalks, and we're just going to wedge it in here behind the straw bales.
It's a good fit.
Then, it works great. And then you really should secure it with some twine, but we'll skip that step for right now. But that kind of gives you a backdrop behind the straw bales. So first you want to pick out the larger pumpkins and get those placed. So we'll start with this cushaw or sweet potato that's a little on the sad side. So I'm just going to use it on the ground here.
Now, is that going to be okay on the ground?
It'll be okay.
On this concrete?
If your soil is really wet, you know, if this is in a mulch bed or in a lawn, you might want to put a little straw down below it to kind of wick the water away. And yeah, here on the concrete, this is a little rough, so it could damage it. And you'll see where I've got the pumpkins piled that I've laid down some cardboard. Just the less scratching, the better. So if you want to hand me that big jack-o'-lantern there, we'll add it to the display.
Jack-o'-lantern, okay.
I think I'll put it right here. A little bit of height. And then I'm going to build some height right here by stacking some pumpkins together. So we're going to start with one called Cinderella. Cinderella is a really nice deep orange.
Cinderella.
Red. Cinderella, isn't that fun? So I've cut the stem off Cinderella.
Okay.
And then we're going to add a flat white boar is the name of this one. It's actually a winter squash. Again, I've cut the stem off.
Now, why did you cut the stem off?
So I can stack the two together. So once you cut the stem off, sometimes if it's kind of moist, you might want to let it dry in the sun. It'll seal over like you see here. It's actually sealed over and will not decay. So we're putting that on top, and you kind of just have to work it around and around till it fits properly. And then we're going to add one called rumba.
Rumba.
Rumba's got a beautiful stem. Now you could stop right there, again working it around till it's in place, but I'm going to cut that stem off with my pruners and add another on top.
Okay.
And you could, all different colors, shapes, sizes, but I like on top, usually a round one, kind of fun. So shorten that stem just a little bit more. And then crown it with that guy there. So that gives you a little height in the display and is fun. So when you're picking out your pumpkins, if you want flat ones to stack like this, you really got to kind of sort through the piles and make sure they're as flat as they can be so they can stack together. And then obviously you want to start with large on the bottom and end up with small on the top. So they'll stack properly. But that gives you some extra height in the display.
Okay.
Then we'll continue adding some bigger guys.
It's a good size. Wow.
I also like to mix, you know, obviously different colors. So this is a snake gourd for that green color. And if you want to hand me a couple big guys, there's a great big guy down there.
All right.
Heavy. It's actually a winter squash.
So winter squash, okay.
Yeah, winter squash is called Long of Naples. And so, you know, it could be laid down in the display. It could be propped up. And you know, you don't expect to do this in a few minutes. You might have to play around with it. If you get tired of it, go in the house, go to the grocery store, come back and fiddle with it some more. So, you know, once you set it down, that doesn't mean it has to stay there. So, you know, really, I don't care for that, but I may move it around here again in a few minutes. So,
you want
go ahead and hand me some of the larger things.
I'll get you one of these.
Another snake.
Another snake.
Lay him right there. And so this is a jack-o'-lantern that just hasn't turned orange yet, but I really like it because, again, it's a different variety of color, so it adds a lot of dimension to the display. So we'll plop him right down in front of the orange.
Okay, one
and then how about red warty thing in the basket? Yep, I'll take that.
Let's take that
this
one.
Turk's turban. And let me just plop it here for
How
right
about
now.
that?
So this is red warty thing. Isn't that a fun name? It's not exactly red, but that's pretty cool. So it adds a lot of texture to the display as well.
And once you grow it, it looks like that. I mean, this is how it grows.
Yep. Okay. Okay, we'll add some more green. This is a swan gourd that really didn't end up with a head. And if you'll hand me, there's another swan behind you.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll just tuck it in here. And then here we have a swan gourd that actually has the head, so you can see where it looks like a swan. So the gourds dry out where you could actually carve them. So if you're going to carve a gourd for a birdhouse or a dipper, you actually wait till it totally turns brown and dries out. And it usually takes 6 to 9 months.
Wow.
If you carve it while it's green, as it dries, it will actually crack and break. So you need to wait till it's totally dry.
6 to 9 months.
It's a slow process, and you need to, if you're drying them, you need to put them in a place where there's good air circulation. And not pile them all up in a pile because they'll tend to mold and mildew if you do that.
But you still clean those too with the bleach solution?
Yes, absolutely. And as they're drying, they're going to mold somewhat naturally, but you can continually clean them every 3 or 4 weeks if you want to with the bleach water. It's not necessary, but if you want to keep it from molding. Okay, so let's bring this Turk's turban around and add him in front of the orange here.
Okay.
And then we'll just start with some of the smaller things and kind of fill in. And if you want to help, you can grab some of them and just kind of start tucking them in.
I kind of like these smaller ones.
Yeah, the little guys. That's Jack B. Little, isn't that fun?
Jack B. Little. Okay.
Let's see here.
I like Jack B. Little.
Here's a red warty thing that missed its warts somehow or another. You know, we're not all perfect.
Now, what about this one, Jason? Look at that.
That is one called Autumn Wings. So it has
little wings.
flanges on it, or sometimes called swan gourd.
Okay.
It looks a little bit like a swan as well.
I'll put that one up there.
You know, there's so many different cultivars and varieties of pumpkins, gourds, and winter squash. And a lot of them, when you plant, if you're growing them yourselves and you plant a pack of seed, you may not always get what was in that pack. So, for instance, this guy came up with a pack of seed of something that was totally different, but there was one plant in there that just happened to be different. So we don't know what this is, but isn't that fun?
Well, yeah,
I love that height that the white gives.
And look how small this one is.
Oh yeah, that's Tennessee dancing. I will try to demonstrate. Actually, let me pull this cardboard around here. So we were using the cardboard to protect the pumpkins as we move them around on this concrete. But Tennessee dancing gourd is a gourd that you can spin like a top.
Oh, okay.
So it's an heirloom variety. It was rediscovered in Tennessee maybe 10 or 15 years ago and is now made available through mail order companies or seed companies. But yeah, it spins like a top.
I bet you the kids will love that.
Oh, it's a fun. Also makes good, if you let it dry out, Christmas ornaments on the tree. You can paint it different colors and such.
Okay.
So fun gourd. Tennessee dancing.
Well, look, Jason, we're running out of time.
All right.
So definitely appreciate you coming by and showing us this fall display, and I can't wait to get one in my yard.
All right, it's been fun.
Thank you. All right, thank you.